Yo, yo, back again, Perv Bunny style. Here to wrap up this edition of One Thing Wrong with Every NBA Team. Today, Southeast and Pacific Divisions. First up, the Atlanta Hawks. One thing wrong with them is expectations. They made the conference finals last year. The only place up is the finals. Is Atlanta really making the finals next year? Nah. Atlanta is facing a similar thing that the Boston Celtics faced years ago. Young team makes the conference finals, so much promise, can only go up. Now that Boston team with Tatum and Brown when they were young, that made the conference finals more than once, but they never got past it. And to me, that team was a hell of a lot better than this current Atlanta Hawks team. Thing is, Atlanta surprised last year. Who's to say they can't do it again? Trae Young could take that next step. He could show the world, fuck Luka Doncic. Man, who wouldn't want to? Look at that adorable doughy face. Okay, Charlotte. One wrong thing with them? Gordon Hayward. With the signing of Kelly Oubre and given the age of all the other young players on that team, Gordon Hayward seems like the odd man out. He can't even pull the playoff experience card because Terry Rozier's been there too. Okay, Miami. This is going to take a sec. The Heat's biggest problem is age. They made a bunch of off-season moves to quote-unquote get players on Jimmy's timeline. But the players they got, Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker, they're nice players off your bench, but they're old. They are not capable of being daily starters in an 82-game season and then being healthy enough to jam in the motherfucking playoffs. Jimmy's timeline is like that 27 to 32 range. You know, those kind of players, that's his timeline, not 35 to 37. That's an early bird special retirement timeline for NBA players. Orlando, one wrong thing with you, you swapped Wagner brothers. Sometimes a little seasoning goes a long way. The Washington Wizards, one wrong thing with your team, Spencer Dinwiddie's crypto cult. When he gets that locker room to invest all of their money in crypto and it goes down, that's going to be one sour fucking locker room. And we all know how crazy the Wizards locker room can get if money's involved. The Golden State Warriors. Well, according to Kendrick Perkins, they have a generational center in Wiseman. So, one problem for them is having too good of a fucking center. It's gonna end up taking away from Steph, Clay, and Dre. And really, can't argue with Perk. He's like some kind of savant or something. The Los Angeles Clippers. One wrong thing with them? Paul George's ego. Having done well without Kawhi in the playoffs and being the guy on this team coming up next season, his ego is gonna go through the roof. And if they have success next year in the playoffs, holy shit, you know he's not going to think he's the second best player on that team anymore. This could lead to future problems between him and Kawhi and him and the coaches. And now for the other LA team, the LA Lakers. One wrong thing with them? Too much cheap talent on their team looking for a big contract. They got really lucky, signing a bunch of guys for what was, by and large, undervalued. Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk. These guys had offers for more money, but they signed with the Lakers in the hopes that they're going to shine deep in the playoffs and that's going to get them a bigger contract. Problem with that is, in the playoffs, rotations tighten, and not all of these guys are going to get that chance to shine. This might make for hella bitching in the locker room. The Phoenix Suns. One wrong thing with them? Chris Paul. I know, that sounds strange. How is Chris Paul the one wrong thing with them? He's the reason they are where they are. Much like the Hawks, the Suns only have up to go. But their up is actually winning the motherfucking ring. Chris Paul is going to have to survive an 82-game season and a long playoff run and be in top shape and performance in the finals for these guys to have a chance. That happening just doesn't seem as likely as I think a lot of Phoenix fans think it is. Ultimately, time will tell, particularly around playoff time next year. All right, and to wrap it up, Sacramento. One wrong thing with the Kings? Too many young players. The Kings need to do what the Hawks did last year, jettison some pieces and bring back some vets. They don't have to be all-star great vets. They just have to be vets ready to win now. De'Aaron Fox isn't getting any younger. And much like Trae Young, I'm sure he's impatient as fuck to at least make the playoffs. If the Kings aren't careful, there's going to come a time in the future when Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat comes calling after the Kyle Lowry era and is like, hey, we need a point guard. And De'Aaron Fox will be like, word? And South Beach will be like, yeah! And Sacktown will be very, very, very sad. Okay, that wraps up our series on One Thing Wrong with Every NBA Team. Till next time, Stay thick.